Here's the 2025 update from my studios currently like. This is a home recording studio if it's not obvious by the fact that there's home stuff here. But anyway, there's a drum kit over there. Got my room mic pair here configured in mid side. You'll notice they're not even the same microphone. That does not matter. Like, I don't care. This is my drum kit, but it's currently configured for the drummer that'll be playing today. So the bells have been removed from the hi-hat, and the hi-hat's been lowered, and this mic has to be here instead of where it should actually be, because if you put it anywhere else, I don't know why it only does this when he plays, but it just falls off. So we found out if we just hook it onto the throw-off, it'll actually stay. Now, if this was a cardioid mic, it actually would be good to be here, because the hi-hat's directly behind it, but it's actually super cardioid, so it's actually got rejection in these directions, which is still helpful because it rejects the other snare and this cymbal, but I'd rather reject the hi-hat. But these are just compromises you have to make shit work sometimes. Toms, we got dynamic mics on the rack toms, but a kick mic on the floor tom. The kick mic, there are two mics. There's one outside and one inside. The inside one has all the low end, the outside one picks up the noise of that. I don't know how else to describe it. We got cymbal mics mounted directly to the ceiling. That's a permanent fixture. So if the drum kit ever moves, I have to do re-drilling, but oh well. And I had to do the thing you normally do with Ethernet cable, so these wouldn't dangle and touch the cymbals. It's the same reason these mics are a little bit off-center, is because you get cable touchage otherwise, which is not a word. Hi-hat mic. It's pointed at the hi-hat, but away from the drums, because just as you want your drum mics to reject the cymbals, you want the cymbal mics to reject drums, otherwise it's not a cymbal mic, it's just a kit mic. Same idea with the ride here. The reason it's underneath is because you get much better rejection than if I was coming over this way, because then it would be picking up all these toms. Of course, you could come in from the other angle, but considering like walk space and stuff is a concern, I figured this is the way to go. Here we have the mess. I'm actually recording two bands back to back right now, and so they all have all their gear over here. So there's a bunch of cables, a bunch of amps laying around, and a good solid chunk of them are not mine. This is the preamp that most of the drum mics are going into. This is a power amp for the PA system, in case we ever want to have something in the room. This is a compressor not being used. This is a rack server currently not being used. Power supply, main audio interface. So this is where the leftover inputs are going. Right now I'm set up to record guitar, so we got the guitar amp coming on the main channel, and the guitar DI coming in on the second channel. And I believe back here is the room mics and the cymbals. We've got 3 different sets of outputs for headphones. In fact, 4 behind the control room area. It's not a control room, it's just behind the desk. We're not going to look back there today because it's even messier. This is the microphone that's been my go-to for vocals. The Mighty AT2020. It's the best $100 I've ever spent on a mic. I don't know what else to say. And yes, we're using a kick mic on the guitar cab as well. The speakers in this cabinet are K100s. I've just found I like the sound of kick mics on those. I also really like how ribbons sound on these speakers. But this isn't even really adjusted at the moment. It's just in a place right now that's probably decent, but it'll be fine-tuned when we're actually playing. We've got 2 bass cabinets here, a 4.8 and a 210. Guitar amp is a Crush Pro 120. The bass amp is a Mark Bass Little Tube 800. This is an amp that's currently broken. It's from the 70s. The brand doesn't exist anymore. It's a collection of pedals that may or may not be used at some point. This is where we're currently getting the bulk of guitar tone from. We're not even using the preamp of that amp over there. We're actually using simulations of preamps. I believe these are all the same simulation of a Fender Twin Reverb, just with different gain settings. And the way that we're bypassing the preamp is we're not going into the input, we're actually going into the return. Soundproofing that it's falling because of cats. Again, specifically a home recording problem. I'm actively making it worse right now. So yeah, that happened. These moving blankets are also what I have instead of real sound treatment. But they actually work pretty effectively. Acoustical foam wherever I couldn't hang a moving blanket because it's too heavy. Of course, back there I got more foam in the corners and some like rugs, and this is a mattress pad that I cut up. It's very found material still. And yeah, I think that's basically the overview for now.